Well, hello everybody. Let me make sure we got everything going. Perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Coffee Fueled Discourse, the Dream Stream, and we have a special guest with us today, AKdiamondhunter. She is a fantastic, wonderful Destiny 2 streamer. So everybody, let's welcome AK in. We can start. How's everybody's night going? We'll start with you, Mr. Sheen.
Oh, well, my night absolutely is going divine, if I might say. And, no, it's going pretty good, actually, though. It's the weather. I'm curious of what it's going to be doing, because it's also a little, like, muggy here, so I know it's going to start, pouring some cats and dogs here before, too long, but enough about me. Let's get to the main guest.
The main guest, AK. Tell us about your night. How was work? How's coming in? All the stuff.
Oh, goodness. You know, another day living the dream, working. Got home, took the dogs out, threw the ball, so I cannot complain, and got some birria tacos for dinner,
You can't go
and then
wrong with
hopped on
birria
here.
tacos.
So, yeah, I can't complain.
Heck yeah. Well, let's get right into it. We have a bunch of questions to ask AK. This is going to be kind of like a little showcase, showing off streamers. It's going to be something that we do every Thursday. It's going to be a different streamer every Thursday, and AK is our lucky guinea pig. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully it goes pretty smooth here.
so let's start off. We'll just get right into it. First question: what made you decide to stream? What triggered the need to stream?
The need to stream. I feel like this is like a multifaceted answer. So if I get long-winded, you can just tell me to stop. Be quiet. But I don't like I can't there's not like a singular thing that I can actually be like this is when I wanted to stream. Um kind of a lot during COVID, I feel like. I was playing video games a lot more often. I had gotten out of school, I was working really hard, and I just had forgotten about games, and I actually hadn't been playing D2 for a while. Then I got back into D2 during COVID, got really heavy into D2, and just some of my friends were kind of like, "Oh, you're pretty funny when you play games. It's like fun to hang out with you." And I feel like streaming really picked up in general, like Twitch really picked up in general over like the course of COVID times when it was in its heaviest. Not that it wasn't existing beforehand, but you kind of started seeing more of it, like prevalence, and just seeing it take off. And I just kind of had I didn't really know a lot about it, and I still feel like I'm new to the world of Twitch in general, but um, I kind of started watching people streaming, and I was like, that's fun. Like, essentially, they just get to play games and hang out with people. And for the most part, it seemed positive. Um, and kind of like also in that same time frame is when I found the Toasty Plebs. So I had previously been playing games with, I would say, more casual players. Like they were my friends and they were like totally casual about playing Destiny, but I was really wanting to get better. And I started playing with the Toasty Plebs, and they're like blew my mind of you can actually do a raid in
The
like
Strand
45
Boys.
minutes. The Strand Boys, this is pre-Strand, but they're like so nice, so kind, and I was like, I want to play Destiny. I just kind of hopped in there, and we started raiding on like weeknights, which blew my mind because I was like, I can't believe you can get a hours. That's crazy, So I had such a good time with them, and I have so many good memories of playing video games. Like it kind of all came together where I was like, I want to bring that feeling of having a really nice time with friends and hanging out, and like I should just try streaming because watching some of the better I feel like the people that I gravitate towards are like you're sharing an experience with a group. Like you're laughing at them doing a game and like you're having fun with them. And so I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens and pop on there. And I actually started streaming my Ghost of the Deep solo runs, which was absolutely terrible. And I just kind of, I don't know, it actually took off like relatively kind of quickly. Like even though my streaming setup was horrible, like I did have people follow me and were like super supportive and nice, and it was like this is actually kind of fun. So I just
You,
kind
s-
of hopped in and started doing it.
you started off as a couch streamer, didn't you?
I did. I
Let's
literally
go.
was like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna grab a webcam and just put it on my Xbox. And like I think my first stream I had no audio set up, and I was just like, fuck it. Maybe somebody want to watch me like suck at doing this dungeon, and somehow people actually did pop in. I think probably when my audio started working like 2 times later, but like people did pop in and were like, hey, you got it. Like keep going, and we're like super encouraging. I don't know if it's just Destiny the game or like in general, but it was like pretty positive. Like I had a pretty positive feedback off the bat. So
That's
then I just
incredible.
kept going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me
Frosty,
Jeff
do
to
you
start
want
off.
to? Yeah,
No, I was
it's
just commenting. What's up?
yeah. No, I was gonna say it's hard, particularly when you look at the scene, right? When you see people streaming from an Xbox, streaming from their couch, it's hard to get people to gravitate towards that because they're just having
Yeah.
they're having fun, but it's less what's the word I'm looking for? It feels like less of a community, like less of something you can, relate to. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's definitely a challenging start. But once you kind of got your setup going, AK, you took off. You took off. You really did.
I
Yeah.
definitely like quickly recognized that if I want to be taken seriously, I had to like step it up just a little bit. Like I think that people can still stream on a really low budget, but like for me, I'm kind of like an all-in type of person. So once I had some positive feedback, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in on this and like start making it a little bit better, like piecemeal by piecemeal. Like I obviously couldn't afford to do everything right off the bat, but I just like kind of like changed I got like a little light so you could actually see me. And then I was like, oh, this, you still can't really see me. So I moved the camera around and then I added the camera for the dog and like kind of made it a little bit more fun. And then I added the green screen. I was actually on the couch originally when I had a green screen behind me, and then it kind of slowly evolved, and I like went upstairs and I was like, I'm just gonna turn this desk. Like I'm just gonna make it into like an Xbox, like a PC setup, but just make it on my Xbox, and kind of like went from there. I was still on a laptop though until just recently. So
The MacBook workhorse. That thing
Yeah.
is a champ. That champed you
it
through
really
quite a
is.
bit.
Yeah, it went through a lot in like 6 months. It basically probably almost killed it.
So, all right, well, we'll
Dang.
get into the next topic, or the next question rather. What do you feel like people misunderstand about you the most?
I think that, I mean, I don't really know if it's necessarily a misunderstanding, but I feel like when you're streaming, people assume you're like super introverted or like have a thick skin. But I feel like since I'm so new still, I still like take things like pretty well to heart, and I try not to, but I'm like actually kind of a sensitive person.
There's nothing
I
wrong with
try
that, but
not to
it
be. I'm like,
it
thick
definitely
skin.
can be a challenge when stuff gets thrown at you that you're like, I've never experienced that anywhere in my life before, because you're opening yourself up to the entire internet, right? So anybody
Mhm.
at any time can come in and say whatever they want, theoretically.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. I try to have a thick skin, but I like even when people are like, "Oh, I was raffling off the emblems," and people are like, "Oh, this is rigged," and I like realized they're probably just messing with me, but like my first initial reaction was, "No, it's not. Like I promise it's not." Like I couldn't show it because at the time how I was streaming was through a laptop, like through a capture card, so I couldn't pull over the webcam. Like I couldn't pull the actual raffle thing onto my stream because it was through the Elgato and everything, and so I wanted to be like, "No, I'm not." But that's kind of the person I am.
Yeah, I think that's only gonna continue to just every single time. It's rigged. It's like, all
Oh
right,
yeah.
sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a quick moment. Thank you, Stooges React and Texas Trees, for the follow. We appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us.
The goats, baby.
So let's tie that into so far. I mean, obviously, you still feel like you're pretty new, but what do you think your biggest failure is thus far, and what did you learn from that experience? What did you take out of it?
Yeah, I actually have like one particular moment that kind of was related to this in like a thick skin type of moment where I had just recently started wanting to play with the community. And a lot of people in the community of Destiny, either they don't know people to do raids, or they feel uncomfortable, or like they're nervous. There's a lot of like super introverted people that they don't want to even hop into an LFG because they don't want to be harassed or made fun of or something. So I was like, we should do some carries for Garden of Salvation. Because people feel like they can't play that half the time. People notoriously don't like that raid. And people don't have Divinity either, which is a weapon if you're not familiar with this game. Like it's a really tough weapon to get. You have to do the whole raid in one thing and like do this whole thing. I was like, we should offer some help. So I got me and my friends to do a thing where we popped in and we're like, let us know if you want to carry through it and we'll take you through. So we had two individuals hop in our Discord that were like, "Hey, we're new. Can you take us through it?" Um, we're like, "Sure, yeah, absolutely." We actually planned a time specifically. We are like, "This time will work for us. Does this work for you?" Like, it was a whole thing. We put a lot of time into this. So we hop in and we play this raid with them, and it kind of became apparent that they were purposely sabotaging. Like, they were definitely throwing.
Oh no.
And on a positive note, the group of people I was playing with were goaded enough to where like we still dragged them through, even though they were like intentionally throwing and dying, and we still finished the raid. So I'm like, hey, hats off to us. We were actually pretty good. And like towards the end of the raid, people in chat were like, "Oh, these guys are cheaters. These guys are speed runners. Like, have you looked at their stats? Like, these guys are cheaters." And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I'm not trying to accuse anybody of cheating or anything or throwing. We finished the raid. It comes back. They did comment in chat, these two individuals, like, and in my Discord, were like, "Yeah, sorry, we are trolling you. Like, we just thought it would be funny. We have like thousands of clears on this, like 10-minute clears or something. Like, definitely a little off the wall. Like, that's not really possible to do a raid like that." And they commented in my Discord, and I was just like really disappointed because for one, like, so I commented this. I kind of like thought up a response. Like, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with them essentially like trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do or accomplish, but I think they probably thought it was funny. Um, so I kind of like thought really hard on it. I answered them. I was just like, like if anything, I'm actually really disappointed because you took the time of us that like planned our time that we could have been giving. Also, you took the time of other people who maybe truly wanted to do this raid, and like you basically took that opportunity away from them. And I'm not really sure why you did that. And then they apologized, and some other like trolling happened in our Discord, and we had to ban them. But it was kind of like a little bit of a frustrating moment where I had to realize like there are totally internet trolls. I think we handled it super well, and I tried to be positive, but I was like, let me just come at this from the disappointed like person instead of like being angry. Like I'm just disappointed that you took away from someone else. But it was kind of a whole frustrating situation where I'm like, why would they do that? It was just very bizarre to me. But there's internet trolls and you just have to get used to it. But for me, it was like a learning lesson where I'm like, maybe I should vet people just a little bit more before playing with them. Um, it's kind of tough with something like a raid because people might have experience doing it, but they still want to like have a better run or something. But in this case, I probably could have vetted and seen that they had like 10-minute long runs. So it was like a whole thing, and me and my mods got together in my group of toasty plebs, and we were like, what do we do in this situation next time? We should probably check their raid report. But yeah, that was probably my biggest failure so far.
Yeah,
I
understandably
wouldn't
so.
be. I wouldn't as much call it a failure though. I would, you learn from it. It's a,
Mhm.
it's an unfortunate thing to go through, but I feel like most people, sooner or later, they're gonna get somebody like that. Good,
Yeah, they're
good that it's
trolling.
out the way now. Yeah, yeah, definitely just trolling.
Yeah. Not
Well,
sure
we
what it
can,
accomplished for them.
Right.
and that's,
But
you
yeah.
got to look at some of the big streamers like Grenader Jake and people like that who run trials, hours and hours and hours of trials, and they have people that literally take the time of everybody to follow them, try to stream snipe them, and they get in there and they just cheat against them and make it miserable
Hmm.
for him and everybody else. And it's such a disappointing thing that people just feel the need to be dicks, to put it
Yeah.
simply. Like, why do you need to be a dick? There's no reason for it, but
Hmm.
there's people out there, and they just have nothing better to do with their life. And as streamers, it's something, you just, you almost have to brush it off to a point. But you can see, like, even streamers who like Grenade Drake, who deal with it every single weekend over and over again, like, it starts to get to you.
Yeah.
And you got to learn or figure out how to adapt to that. And I think the way you guys did it, the way you guys went about it, and how you are now, like, every time you run somebody through something, it's a positive experience for everybody, and it's such a great thing, not only to watch but to be part of too. And I appreciate that from your community.
Awesome. That makes me happy to hear because that's what it should be. Like playing games should be fun. In the end, like that's why you should play a video game, is to have fun.
Exactly. Well, we can roll that into, if you could be remembered for one thing in your streaming career, excuse me, if you could be remembered for one thing, what would that be?
I
words
think
words are hard.
ultimately, dude, words are totally hard. I think ultimately, like my goal now, like having been in it for a little bit longer, is just to have like a really positive community. And I think a lot of people say that, but I kind of look at it like this. When you watch like a comedy show like Friends or like, I don't know, New Girl or The Big Bang Theory, where there's like a group of friends that hang out and you kind of like grow to love them and you can kind of like all share experiences with them and like laugh at them and like see them mess up and you kind of like laugh at their failures, but you're like growing with them. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what our community and stream to be. Like I want people to pop in and like they feel like they're experiencing something together and laughing, and when they are in there, I want them to feel like they had a better day than when they like previously to them hopping in. Like I want them to leave stream being like, oh, I'm glad I hopped in there. Like it kind of brought a smile to their face, or like they had one moment of smiling or something where it's like, oh, that's so funny that happened, where they can kind of relate and stuff. Like I want it to be a positive thing, so I just want to be like, I guess remembered for like a positive, like this is my friends and we're your friends and we're all just hanging out, having a good time. Like bringing it back to why you originally played video games as a kid, where you had fun at a LAN party with 4 friends doing really stupid stuff, like if you were on Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. You know, like LAN parties were the OG thing, and it was like the best memories were made during that. Like I kind of want that feeling when you
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, no, it's a good one to have. Those days were definitely great. And
Yeah.
I know for me, I've at least had to change my name at least a couple of times. So, excuse me. How did you stick on AK Diamond?
Honestly, like I have actually answered this multiple times in stream. It's really simple. Like I have had this username for forever since I started Xbox Live. I don't know exactly what age I was. I had to be like, I want to say like 10 or 11, probably. Whenever Xbox originally came out and Xbox Live happened and I got one, I got a name and I was like a kid on my dad's Xbox, on my dad's Microsoft account, literally
Yeah.
to this moment. And I actually still am on my dad's account, true story, because they won't let me have it as my own. That's a long side story. But
That's crazy.
Alaska like is AK, and I grew up in Alaska. So I was like AK, and then my dog's names were Diamond and Hunter, and it was just literally I just threw that together and made a username. And that's it's too late now. Like it's me. Like
It's
it's
you.
been so many years. It's been like at least 15 years or longer. I don't want to go and do the math because then I'm gonna feel older than I should. But like I'm like
We're all
that's it.
there.
It's
Don't
too
worry about
late for
that.
me. I'm like it's too
Yep.
late. Like people that have played games with me, they know who it is. So it's like that's who I am. I don't even care. That's it. It's over.
Good. It's a good one to stick with.
I
I
mean,
was
it's
just
unique.
curious.
Yep, that's it. It
Definitely.
was just my dogs, Alaska and my dogs. That's all there is to it. And like it's too late to go back now. Why change it up?
Yeah, true. What was it like? Did you grow up in Alaska?
Yeah, I grew up. I was raised and born in Alaska. I actually left when I was 24, almost 25.
Oh wow,
So,
that, that's got to be a wild experience, at least
I
from my
mean,
point of view.
it was like growing up anywhere else, honestly. It's a normal place. It's just really cold in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Is
Yeah.
Destiny the only game that you stream nowadays?
Um, I was streaming a little bit of Fortnite, but I think Destiny is a really good niche to get into. I feel like the majority of my viewers are from Destiny, and on top of that, like I feel so comfortable with that game because I've been playing it since since Destiny 1 came out, like literally day 1 of Destiny 1, like a LAN party with my friend. Um, I'm so comfortable with it. It's second nature, so it's really easy for me to talk to chat and like play even difficult content while streaming. So that's kind of like my main thing because I'm able to multitask. Where I tried streaming Starfield for like a hot minute, but then I realized I was kind of like zoning out because I'm trying to read the story and stuff and like trying to figure out how to play the game. So it just like wasn't a good game for me to stream at that time. Like I wasn't comfortable enough. So until I get more comfortable like talking to chat and like multitasking, I feel like Destiny is probably my vibe. Plus I love that game. Like it's my favorite game and I hate it.
Let's
I
talk
understand
about
that.
the most recent update. How do you feel about it?
Um, a lot of PvP changes. I really like the skimmer. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on the skimmer. I haven't like dove too deep. I've only got to play on Tuesday a little bit, so I'm curious to see how Trials is gonna go. I'm curious to see how it's gonna impact comp and stuff. And I don't know. At this point, I'm just happy that they're making changes and that Bungie is like attempting to make some changes that they've heard from the community. So obviously, not everyone probably watching is a Destiny fan, but it's in a weird spot and the community is not happy with Bungie. So I am personally happy that they're making any changes. So I'm just taking the wins as they are. I think they're trying, and I think it's an old game. So, like, what they make changes to, they have to be careful with because otherwise it could break the whole game. So it has to be little tiny bits at a time. And so far, the skimmer is 10 out of 10. I love it. It's fun.
Well, I don't know if you
Agreed.
noticed, competitive, whatever that game mode they tried out in Trials a while ago was with the special ammo. I forgot what the name of it
The
was, where you had
transmat thing,
where you
checkmate.
had to like earn it. Checkmate. That's
Hmm.
what competitive is now. In case you didn't know, they implemented that in its entirety into comp, and I'm upset about it, but that's okay.
I think that, well, for one, the game's been going for 10 years, right? Well, I guess that's Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. Um, the energy weapon thing is a tough situation. So some people are really used to using shotguns and snipers and having that at all times. And change is hard. Change is hard. It will change the gameplay. Like you can't rely on a certain weapon anymore. So I think change is good, in my opinion. But there's a whole bunch to that. But I also think that some of the weapons that people cheat with tend to be energy weapons. So it kind of balances it if you're not having insta headshot snipes constantly from Zimmers. So it's take it or lose it. But I do think that overall, they're trying to take a step in the right direction to balance the game.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's broaden things out a little bit, and let's get back to you. You know, you still say you're fairly new to the streaming world, and still kind of getting your feet on a firm foundation, if you will. What do you think the best compliment you've gotten so far is?
Truly, the best compliment to me is when I will have a new viewer come in, give me a follow, and be like, your stream seemed really cool. You guys have a really nice vibe. Like, I enjoyed it here, so I'd like to come back again. And that was like the biggest compliment to me. Because I want everyone to feel welcome, and I feel like just getting someone to press the follow button is pretty difficult. And like them doing that to me was a win because I want to be known as a chill streamer. So that was like a huge win. Like checked all the marks. Like that's what's up.
Definitely.
Yeah, no,
it is
I do
huge.
enjoy the vibes in your streams. I'll be there.
Yeah. Speaking of
sure.
which, Alice, if you wouldn't mind dropping her Twitch right now, we'll do it a few times throughout the stream. So if you are hanging out with us, please click on that and give AK a follow and check out her streams because she is an amazing streamer. Truly is.
Thank you.
So we're gonna spin it off a little bit, and I'm gonna ask you a really, really, really tough question.
Oh, God.
Are you prepared?
Okay. Hopefully.
What is an insult you've received? And, well, let me rephrase it a little bit. What's an insult that you have received that you're proud of?
I can think of, it's kind of like not really like a huge insult, but I actually just recently went to Guardian Theater, and that was like not good for my mental health. But
It's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous
It was really
place.
dangerous. So those of you that don't know, Guardian Theater is like it'll link your Twitch and you playing your video game, your Bungie account at the same time, so you can go back and see like when you essentially played with or against other streamers at the same time, and it'll pull you right to the time that you're with them. And there was one time we were loading into trials, and someone was like, "AKdiamondhunter." I think they saw my emblem, the game to give one, and they're like, "Oh, that's a streamer. Oh, it's a girl streamer." And I don't know why, like it just kind of made me laugh, but I was like, you know what? At least they're recognizing that I'm a streamer, and so I feel like I kind of made it. Like someone was like, "Oh yeah, they're a streamer." So to me, that was a win. I was recognized, so that's all that matters.
No such thing as bad publicity.
That's right.
That's a fact. And man, Bungie's Game to Give did a massive thing for a whole lot of people. I was really impressed by the outcome overall of how that went. So, side note.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Here's a different spin on things, and then Frosty, you can get into your next question after this. But how does your family feel about you streaming? Have you talked to them? Have you told them about it? Like, what are their reactions to it?
Yeah, honestly, my parents are like generationally, they had me a lot older, so they're like actually in their 70s. Like they had me really old when they're older. So I'd say they're typical boomers. No hate on boomers, but they're definitely an older generation where like internet streaming it doesn't make any sense to them. They have no idea what that is. It really truly I have tried to explain Twitch to them, and I'll get comments like, "Why would people watch you playing a video game? That's so weird." It's so out of their realm. They truly just are like, "Okay," like they don't really care. Nor do they understand what it is. The last time they saw me playing a video game, it was probably like either Xbox One or my mom remembers playing literally Nintendo 64 with me. So they don't care. However, I did get both of my mom and dad to donate to the Game to Give, which was super cool. And my mom did mention that she was actually like really excited and proud of me. Like she doesn't really understand the streaming thing, but she was like, that is so cool that you're able to fundraise money for like children essentially in children's hospitals. Like, I'm really proud of you for doing that. So that was cool. And that's probably about the extent of them understanding streaming.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to explain that to the older generations. Like, yeah, I play video games,
Yeah.
but they watch me. It's like, what do you, huh?
Yeah, and it's like they're not just they're talking with you like you're hanging out, you know? It's a whole
Right.
thing, but they don't get that. They totally do not understand. I mean, they barely understand Facebook, so we got to give them a break.
Yeah, definitely. I think my parents always called every single Pokemon was a Pikachu, for sure.
Oh yeah, my mom would be like, Twitch, you know? Like, oh my god, Mom. I've heard that comment like multiple times.
So, on Destiny, right? What
Mhm.
is your favorite expansion? Since you've played since D1 all through D2, I'm just curious.
Hmm.
I have my vote.
The question, or you're gonna answer? Is it
Oh,
me? Am I gonna answer?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, okay. Probably Witch Queen.
Really?
Honestly, I liked Witch Queen because, well, first of all, there was a 2-year gap where I was not playing Destiny 2 because I was in school,
Mhm.
and I did not touch the game. Probably 2.5 years actually. Um, I think Witch Queen had a great story, and I was able to understand it. Anyone that has watched me stream knows that I don't really care about Destiny's story. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a lore player. I like to shoot things, and unless a game like gives me lore in the story, I generally don't care. I'm not gonna like read into the lore. But Witch Queen had me hype. Okay, I was pretty hype about this. I watched My Name is Bife videos, and I was
Yeah.
like, holy
Yep.
shit. I like literally sat down and like watched the whole like Witch Queen My Name is Bife thing for the hype and like understood the hype, and I was like, oh, this is so crazy. Like, it was actually really well put together. And his video was a great hype for it. And they did a great job with Savathun's story. And I was like actually following along with that. And like the whole like Savathun trying to, the ghost thing, like that actually was pretty cool. And they were also beginning to roll out the changes to the classes. Like, that's when they rolled out the original Void 3.0. And so like there was a lot of excitement around like they were really changing things for the better. And they did a great story plot. They brought a whole new map area in, like there was a lot happening. So that was, and it was probably like most people would say one of their most successful campaigns.
Mm.
And so that was probably my favorite one. It's also when I happened to get back into playing Destiny 2 like pretty heavily again.
Yeah, it definitely brought some good, because I wasn't really into the lore either until probably recently, and all the Witch Queen stuff kind of pulled me into that a little bit more. So I also really enjoyed that DLC.
Mhm.
What about you, Mr. Nick? What you got? What was your favorite?
King's Fall D1.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
King's Fall
sir.
D1.
Salute to the
True.
OGs,
Yep.
baby.
Yep.
There,
That was
Yes.
my
I
favorite
don't.
too.
Yeah, I don't think there has ever been, to me anyway, I don't think there has ever been a game that has been able to pull my attention quite like King's Fall Destiny 1. Everything felt right in the world during that time. Like, it just, everything lined up, everything was smooth. It was, the story behind it was incredible. The amount of people that gave attention to it was incredible. Like, everything about it to me was just, it was beautiful.
The synergy.
I totally
Yes.
agree. That
Yeah.
cutscene intro with like Queen Marasov going off,
Yeah,
and then
wow.
like, oh dude, that was actually incredible. That was incredible. I was so excited. I was like, what the fuck is it taken? Ah,
Oh,
like a new
Yeah.
enemy. This is crazy. That's true. That was very hype. And I would say that his boss scene, like last entrance and the actual campaign, not in the raid, was like fucking sick. Where his
It
like
was.
door lit up and everything. Like they did an amazing job on that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
there was story there, and it was beautiful.
It really was. The good old days.
The good old
Yeah.
days.
definitely. I'm itching to see. I'm nervous to bring up this sacred DLC that's gonna be releasing, but the final shape, fingers crossed is all I'm gonna say.
Fingers
Do you have
crossed.
any opinions on that one?
You know, I don't know enough about it. Like I feel like this is like some people have some really hard takes on this. I don't have a really hard take. I want the game to live. I really do. I don't know. I think eventually they'll go to a Destiny 3. But for this expansion, it really seems like it's all or nothing. And it does feel like Marathon has kind of made it so that Bungie's like leaving Destiny in the dust. However, I feel like there's been a lot of kickback, and I'm hearing a lot about Sony breathing down the necks of Bungie and being like ready to take over the reins. So I'm, they kicked it back 6 months or whatever. I think they're feeling the heat. Tons of people canceled their pre-orders. Like the community's heated. And I think it's starting to actually impact them. I think Sony's breathing down. I really do. I think there's some changes happening. You had Joe Blackburn leave. Like, there's been some big turnover in there. There a bunch of people got fired, and I wasn't there, so I don't know. Like, they said they fired the right people. I don't know what's going on there, but there's been a lot of changes. So I'm really hoping that ultimately it will be for the best. I think there's a potential for it to turn around. Like, we've seen it happen in the Destiny past, where they've basically like pulled it out and like made it happen. Like, how many that have a strong following like this for literally 10 years. And like the player base is ready to give their money, ready to play, has legitimate like addicts like us, like ready to game. And I just feel like they have such a niche. Like I want it to be good, and I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to play it through, and I probably will still keep playing Destiny after the final shape, depending on how absolutely it goes. If it just completely goes to shit, who knows? But I think there's a chance that it could keep on going. I just think it's all in the air right now, and there's been a lot of changes. So some people are really negative about it and are like, this is it for Destiny 2. I'm not so sure. I think that there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of money in Destiny 2. So we'll see.
There's still light at the end of the tunnel, Guardian.
There is, and
Right?
personally, when you look at Bungie's track record, they have put out some of their best content. Witch Queen, perfect example. They have put out some of their best content when their back's against the wall. And I think right now
For
their
sure.
back's against the wall. So I have hopes for it, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Only time will tell. I'm still going to be day one rating, and we're going to do everything we can, and we're just going to see what happens.
Definitely.
The internet's a fickle place, man. People are like, I hate Destiny. And then they're like, this is the best game ever. Like, you give them a fucking skimmer, and people are already like back on the game. Like, Astacross had like 20,000 live viewers on the update.
He did.
with the
My
skimmer. I was like,
my
what the fuck?
friends list. I have never seen so many people online at the same time on my friends list since this update like happened. It's crazy. It's great.
It's insane. I'm like, all you need to do is give us an air skateboard, and we're back in it, baby.
Just let us hover, bro.
Yeah, we're like, grind in the air. It's over. Destiny's saved.
It is fun though, I will say. That's kind of what
super
got
fun.
me back into it. I'll be honest.
Hell yeah.
So let's broaden the horizons once again. So obviously, going back to you still getting your footing and finding your foundation. Outside of the two of us and Blue Dwarf, obviously, who would you consider your favorite streamer to be, Destiny or not?
So I don't follow a lot of non-Destiny streamers just because I think there's some really big name. Okay, I guess I can say two big names. Jinxie is like the #1 streamer right now, and I have watched some of his content, but he's actually super hilarious, and I find him to be extremely entertaining. But I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I probably would go lean towards Grenadier Jake, mainly because I feel like watching him has changed my ability to play PvP and gotten me excited about the game again. And he's like originally the person that I watched getting into Destiny like hardcore. Him and Astacross. I'd say the #1 would probably be Grenadier Jake, mainly because I really truly learned from him a skill that I did not have. Like, he's great because when he plays, he's able to teach, kind of. Like, if you actually listen to what he's saying, like, he's explaining his gameplay, and so you can learn a lot from him just by watching him play. Like, he talks out loud, and, like, yeah, he's entertaining and he has a lot of stuff happening, but at the same time, he's really educational because he'll be like, no, like, I should do this, or teammates should do this because this would be smarter, So I like him because I can learn from him. I feel like overall he's a genuinely, like, I think he's pretty honest dude. I think he's doing his best. He's helping the community, and his community is like pretty strong, especially in the fact that he's playing trials. Like, that is some adversity, man. To stay strong in that type of adversity is pretty wild, and he's still doing it, even though I can tell his soul is sucked dry by like Mondays on trials, and he's like absolutely so overdoing carries. He's doing it. He's helping the community, and overall, he seems like a pretty nice dude. So I do like his stream a lot. He's like a radio host, honestly. He's got good vibes going.
That he does. I tune into Mr. Jake often as well.
Yep. And then Jinxie was just a side note, but like he's not related to Destiny. But like
I'll
I'm
say
like,
he's a
wow,
good
why is he so
streamer.
popular? He just blew up, but I'm like, he's fucking hilarious. He's like falling backwards over his chair and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this guy's actually super funny. Like you can tell he's a true comedian, like in real life. Like he's just a funny dude. He's very entertaining.
Definitely. I don't know if you've ever seen his matchmaking streams. Those are pretty hilarious. He has
Is that like him and his brother or something? The guy with glasses or whatever, and he's like got random lady gamers on there or something.
yeah, that's his friend. So he'll take
Okay.
a female,
Match or
right,
something,
in
right?
their Discord, yep, and it's basically like speed dating but through Discord on his stream, and it's the funniest thing
Oh
ever.
God.
It's so funny.
Yeah. You know, the funniest thing too is like his setup is like literally ghetto as shit, but it all works with his vibe. Like he
Yep.
literally has a taped green screen to like the shittiest chair that he's falling over, but it all comes together and it's just very him. And
Mhm.
I admire him for that because he's just a natural funny person, and I think he really is just being himself, which is pretty nice to see. Because there are like really popular streamers, but you know, I mean, the truth fact of the matter is, like, there is financial stuff involved in streaming. Like, it is nice to be able to earn a source of income and support, but some people are super heavily driven on that, and Twitch is in a really weird spot where you have, like, half-naked women being posted on the front page, and it's like, are you really providing content, or, like, what are you doing here? You know, like, are you actually talking and engaging in a community, or are you literally posting yourself half naked to try to get donations? Like, it's kind of, I'm a little split on that. Like, I guess get your bag, girl, but I'd like to actually make a community here, and
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Like Blue just said in chat, that's the new Twitch meta. It's
Yeah, and
it's
that will not
painful
be
to
me.
see that. It's painful to see that. It really is. Like it.
Yeah,
I feel like it
is.
takes away from those people who are genuinely entertaining, and somebody who puts themselves out there on an emotional level to connect with people. I feel like it takes away from those people, and it's a little. I don't quite want to say heartbreaking, but it's a little heartbreaking, you know, to see people putting
Yeah,
themselves
I
out there
will
in other
say,
ways.
like, the internet can be both negative, but it can also be super positive. Like during COVID, I think that playing video games and talking to friends like really saved my mental health. I was super isolated. I work in healthcare outside of doing this, and it was hard. Like it was really hard seeing some of the things I saw, being isolated, like it was just really tough, but like knowing that I could safely socialize and go on and like play games with people really changed it and like made it better for me. So it's, there are the people that are on there just, I guess, looking for views or whatever, but it is really cool to be able to actually make. Some of the boomers out there, no offense, boomers, I'm not trying to hate on boomers, but like, they're like, oh, it's not a real connection if you're talking to somebody. Some of these guys that the internet, I consider them real friends. Like, I talk to them more than I talk to people in real life. And I do think that these connections, they have, they have some basis in them. Like, they're actually real.
Yeah. No, that definitely
100%.
makes sense because I definitely feel that. I understand.
Every day.
It's not just it's personal. It's more than just a screen. It's you're actually interacting with these people.
Yep.
The day
Yeah,
in
like
and day out.
people are looking for connection. Obviously you have to like have some sort of a balance with that. Like people talk about parasocial relationships and blah blah blah, but like you can connect with people and talk with them and ask them how their day is going. Or I try really hard personally to remember like different people and like what they're telling me. Like, oh, I broke my leg or something, and I'm like, damn, dude. Like try to remember that and be like, hey man, like how's your leg doing? Like that sucks. And like I try super hard to remember that. I think eventually if I have like a ton of followers, might be a little bit more difficult, but I really do truly try to remember because, you talking to somebody like that literally might make the entire difference in their day. Because maybe they're in a real shit place, and then you take the time to be like, hey man, how's it going? And they're like, oh, it's shit, but I got flawless in trials. And you're like, fuck yeah, dude. That could literally turn the whole day around. You don't know.
Right.
Mhm.
Boom.
100%.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Frosty. Go for it. Go for gold.
Are you? All right. Here we go. would you like to pursue gaming as a career, or would you prefer your current career?
Oh man, I think realistically, if I could make enough financially to do what I'm doing now, I would totally do this over working in healthcare.
Yeah.
It's been rough, and I mean, it would be really hard to get to that point, but if I was at that point, I would 100% retire from healthcare and I would do this without a doubt. It's way
Yeah.
more of a passion project. Like, I actually enjoy doing what I'm doing. Like, pretty much everything I work on in my stream is my own personal time, but it's
Mhm.
not a chore. Like, I'm excited about doing it and it like makes me happy. And every time I stream, I think about like what could I have done better, or how can I do something else, or like what's an exciting topic to do next time? Like I'm actually passionate about it, where I feel like work is like a means to an end right now.
Right.
I feel like most people probably feel that way, if I'm being real with you.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I stand in the
Yeah.
same boat. Definitely.
Yep, 100%. That kind of brings me to another question I had. When you process at the end of your stream, do you ever watch over some of your VODs or anything like that? Do you ever like review gameplay or review certain points in your stream other than the really, really exciting ones, just to see like how certain people reacted to things that you did or said?
Yeah, I do actually. Like, I look over. So Twitch will always give you like a stream summary,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to try to see like how many people I had in there, what was I streaming that day. Like, I kind of like I don't like actually keep tabs or anything, but I like to see like what people are more engaged in. I don't say I like actually look over my entire VOD. I'm pretty active about checking chat and like seeing when people are engaging, or I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly trying to make it better. Like, how can I give back to this community that's giving to me? Like, if I want to make better emotes, like what emotes are being used? So I'm like, oh, this emote's never been used. I don't even need it anymore. Like, I should make something that the community would actually use, like maybe more dog things, or I don't know, something more niche to it. I'm constantly looking at that kind of stuff to make it more for them, so that they're actually going to interact and like be happy with it.
Is the
That's not
is
like a
the
specific answer, but I do look at my stuff.
is the dancing dog your number one emote?
It is the number one emote, which I would have never expected. I actually went to like, I was Googling, I'm like, free emote maker. And there's like an emote GIF maker online. And I put my dog's head into that, and it just was the best.
Nice.
I don't have it on Coffee Field Discourse, but if somebody has the dancing moose in chat, can you drop that? Can you drop the dancing moose?
Oh, yeah.
Do
There we are. There we are. We got the
Oh, someone
dancing
got it.
moose front and
It's
center.
great.
There it is. So let's circle back. We talked about after your stream processing information and how you kind of review. What does your pre-stream routine look like? Do you have something that you do like religiously? It's like this is what you do every single time, or do you just kind of get home and just jump online? What does that look like for you?
So, one thing I have learned is I need to have days off. Like, I think it's A, it kind of builds hype about a stream, so people are excited to see you. And B, I try to have a plan of what I'm doing. Like, at least to a small extent of like, I'm gonna run this dungeon solo, or I'm gonna play trials and try to go flawless, or I'm going to do this raid with these guys. So I'll have a plan ahead of time so I can be like, A, do I need teammates to help me and make sure they're there? And just have like something set. So when I'm going into it, I have a stream title that I know what I'm doing, and I just try to have a goal there. Then as far as that, I generally work 8 to 9 hours a day, so I will make sure I always take care of the dogs so that they're not quite super annoying in camera. And then I just basically try to look presentable and hop on. So I don't have a lot of time between it. I make
So
a
a lot
coffee
of
if I can, if in the morning.
coffee.
I respect it.
Water.
That's a lot to do. It's a lot on your plate.
It is.
It's
yeah.
a lot,
It's-
but I try to have a plan, a game plan of like at least knowing what I'm streaming, because I feel like having a plan for stream is really important, other than just like sitting there and filling dead space. Like people
Yeah.
want to watch you do something exciting and like want to know what you're doing for a purpose. So like I want to like have that goal in mind. There are the occasional times where I'm like, I'm just grinding. Like I'll probably hop when I'm done with this, I'll probably just stream like chilling and doing some stuff because for a shorter stream. But like for the most part, I always have a plan.
Yeah, and it's good that for the people who don't understand how much actually goes into a stream, like it's not just you don't just click live and you're there. Like it's a lot.
Mhm.
So hats off being able to balance 8 to 10 hours a day and stream. Sheesh. Yeah, no, it's
dedication
really
for
cool.
sure.
Definitely,
It is.
and it's something to be proud of too. So Dubs in the chat. But you got anything for us, Mr. Nick?
I do. So I asked earlier this week, I asked AK to send me a couple clips. And I didn't specify outside of anything other than send me a couple clips that you feel like hit an emotional level of success to you. Like what did success look like in these clips? So let's watch these. Bear with me 2 seconds while I pull them up. We'll watch them back to back and then we'll talk about them. All right, clip number 1. Let's go.
So focused on his sniper.
What? You are not doing that, Dark Horror. What? Oh my god. You guys, that's insane. Dark Horror, what? That is so crazy. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Oh my god. You guys are trying to make me lose this match. Oh my god. That is so kind, Dark Horror. Thank you so.
So focused on his sniper.
Oh, let's take a look at the second one.
Got some ice over here. Should I put my laptop on top of it?
Yes.
Ice in a bag. It's not gonna hurt it. Oh my goodness!
Dude, made a
What?
kick again?
What up? Thank you so
Holy
much for the
smokes.
raid. Let's go. Just as I'm putting my laptop on ice to try to play trials. Jungle Squad. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for popping in. All right, we're gonna have to give my dog all the treats after got some ice.
Perfect. So the first clip, 20 gifted. That's huge. That's a big
Okay.
deal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Emotionally, what were you going through?
Well, at first I couldn't even believe anyone would want to even do that for me. Like that was insane. And I was like almost embarrassed. I was just in shock. I was like definitely turning red. Like I truly can't believe that someone would actually feel the need to do that. And I just felt really, really, really lucky and just like, yeah, like I don't know. I felt super lucky. It was crazy. And so grateful. Like I just don't even understand why people would do that because I really understand that times are tough out there. Like some people can only offer a view because, dude, $5 for a sub for someone might be like a lot of money, and that is totally legit because times are freaking rough. And for someone to be able to do that was unbelievably kind. And yeah, I just never expected someone to do something like that for me.
That's incredible. It's a huge achievement in the beginning streamer.
That rush of
and
emotion is wild.
The rest, yeah. Let's.
I was like
go
so
ahead.
red.
Right.
And the second clip, holy shit, a Grenader Jake raid. That was what,
Yep.
3,000 people. You were literally putting bags of ice to keep your computer cool, so you could stay streaming.
Yeah.
And you could see, I mean, your stream was, cutting in and out just a little bit because that thing was working. But I mean, I would say Grenader Jake has been a pretty big part of your community. He's given you 2
Oh, for
rates
sure.
now,
He's
and
actually
that's
giving
big.
me 3.
3. I missed the
Three.
third
Isn't that
one.
crazy? Yeah.
That's huge.
Oh,
yeah.
And I've noticed he does something where he'll scroll through a list of streamers, and frequently he'll look at people he's rated in the past and go, you may remember them, or if you're part of their community, you'll know who they are. And I was watching him one time when he rated you, and he did that, which was super cool. So he knows who you are, which is kind of a
That's
big
actually
thing
crazy.
to
I didn't
say.
know that.
Yeah,
Boom.
I think you actually found me through the first Grenader Jake.
I did.
raid,
Yep,
Sentient.
I did.
Yep.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, that was so crazy. First of all, I was already putting ice packs on my laptop because my MacBook, God bless it, but it was struggling. It was like really dying, and I actually bought like a fan for it after that. So I legitimately had a Ziploc bag full of ice. I sat my laptop on for that, and then Grenader Jake raids me. So I'm like, oh my god. What the fuck am I gonna do? Like absolute panic. I think we ended up doing some pretty hardcore stuff. I like messaged my plebs. I was like, dude, I have like 1,500 viewers still watching us. Like, what are we gonna do? So we ended up doing the Crota's End challenge where you have to do the lanterns It's a really hard one. But it's something exciting because I was like, we have to do something cool. Also, it's a good time to like. Some people aren't gonna watch you if you don't know what you're talking about. Some people are just entertaining, but like I also feel like I have a really knowledgeable group of friends. I would be nothing without the plebs, by the way. Like this is definitely. I'm not saying I'm a good gamer. These guys absolutely like are amazing and help me out, and a lot of them are way better gamers than me. But I was like, dude, we should totally do this challenge while we have like 1,500 viewers in there. And then we actually kept like a really large amount of viewers. We probably had like at least 800 viewers to the end of the challenge, which was sick.
Dang,
And
that is huge.
yeah, we kept going for like, I want to say like at least 2 hours after that. Cause I was like, this is like the time to roll. Like I saw this as a humongous opportunity and I was like, we need to do something good. Like I got an insane amount of followers just because they're being nice, but I'm like, let's keep rolling. Like let's show them what the plebs are about. After probably about 30 minutes, I started to get a little bit less nervous and was like chilling and vibing. And like we had great people popping in the chat. Most people in his community are super positive and like were awesome. So I was like, we just got to keep doing this challenge. I actually remember Purple at one point was like, I think I need to go to bed. And I was like, you are not going to bed. We have like over 1,000 viewers in my chat. We're still going until we get this done. I like DM'd him that, and then we got it done, and it was a really great experience. But I'm super grateful to him. Like I do think I have been growing. I just don't think I would have grown at that exponential rate I would have without him. Like I think a lot of his viewers are chill and like will vibe with my channel anyways. So it was amazing that he did that. I feel super lucky that he did that. It's really crazy that he's rated me more than once. I feel beyond grateful for that. And he rates people all the time, which I think is also really cool to share that community. So
It is.
Thank
I
you.
bet you did
100%.
feel the pressure too. Like boom, all of a sudden
did.
there's a couple thousand people just watching you as, you know, back to the streaming like you're just a person.
Yeah.
Now you have like this many people like why me?
And then I'm like trying to get my dogs treats and like absolutely panicking, like sweating. And then the second time he rated us, actually, we were in the middle of a really tough GM and we like immediately wiped. Like me and my teammates were like, oh shit, a Grenadier Jake raid. And then we immediately
Fail.
wiped.
Immediate fail.
For the raid.
Immediately failed. We got it done the next time though.
That's good.
Mhm.
Mr. Sheen, do you have anything?
If we're ready for this transition. Now, I've put my ear to the streets. I've asked several of my good acquaintances, friends, colleagues, and we are curious. Is Dr. Pepper your beverage of choice?
Really don't want to disappoint you, man. I know this is gonna like this could be upsetting. Like I don't want to upset the Frosty Sheen community. Okay, like this. I'm not gonna say anything negative about Dr. Pepper, but it might not be my favorite drink. That's all I'm gonna say. It wouldn't be my favorite drink of choice. Immediately banned. Get her off of this.
Fired.
No, it's okay.
Fired. No,
It's okay. You know, we're all in. You know, we all have our wrong opinions and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, that's all I have right there. What about you, Mr.
Definitely.
Nick?
So Coffee Fuel Discourse, right? We created this on coffee. Coffee is an important thing to a lot of us. It drives us. It motivates us. It keeps us active, except for Sheen. He doesn't count, but everyone else. If you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose?
This is like not the best answer because it's not a specific person. But I had recently been like learning about like there was like women that were actually in like NASA during the projects when they were going to the moon, but they just were never talked about and were like completely probably getting mansplained to, even though they're extremely intelligent. They were never talked about. They were never like the face of anything. All their achievements and stuff was probably washed over. Like I would love to talk to some of them because I feel like in the face of adversity, like they still did some amazing, heroic, intelligent things while basically getting no recognition for it, which has got to be insanely frustrating. So, one of them ladies that's extremely intelligent enough to help bring us to the moon and while getting like no recognition and probably getting mansplained too. And there was like women of color and stuff that were in there too. Like at that time, like that's crazy. I would love to talk to one of them.
Yeah, if you could get
That's a
some
great
notes for
answer.
me of how they overcame that, that could just
That's
be
tough.
motivation for everyone.
Mhm.
They were incredible. I recently actually saw a documentary about them, just because I've been going into the space stuff recently. But it's really inspiring what they did overcome and do, and because of them, proceed more or less. It's incredible.
Right. Yep.
Definitely. I have a couple, I guess, rapid fire questions for you. You can answer them
Okay.
pretty short. What is your biggest pet peeve from chat? What is something that just irks you a little bit more than something else?
So far, nothing like super irks me or bothers me, but I do feel a little frustrated. People are like, "Oh, you have ads going," like in a negative way, and I'm like, "Bro, I don't have anything to do with that. That's Twitch doing its thing, and if you want to sub, you'll get no ads, and you don't have to sub. You can watch completely for free, but you just gotta watch a little bit of ads, and that's just all there is to it. Like, I can't really do anything about it, so I'm like, don't make me feel bad about that. Like, I don't. It's not my decision. That's Twitch.
Right.
I just
Twitch
don't want
has
to
to
feel
make their
bad.
money.
They do.
I'm like, bro, I can't do anything about that.
No.
Next one. What do you think your stream will look like in 5 years?
Ideally, like I can't even imagine 5 years out, but ideally, I think I would like a really cool community to where I'm gaming, talking, chilling with my friends, and like I have a really strong like chat going where people are also like really enjoying and like laughing and making jokes and like having their own thing. So like when we're vibing, they're vibing and everyone's having a good time and it's just like a really strong community. Because I will say like in the beginning when you're streaming and you have no one chatting, it's pretty rough, but it's so much easier to vibe with people when people are actually engaging with you and like getting in there and like making it fun. So just having like a super strong chat would be great. Just where people are actually there, like, and maybe they know each other in chat too. Where they're like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Like they've seen each other and like they're friends. Like we're kind of building friends out of it, which is cool.
Definitely.
Definitely. Um, we're gonna ask a couple questions about AKdiamondhunter, non-stream related, but we gotta know.
Okay.
If you could only eat one meal, or if you had to only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm just gonna go with a quick answer. Quick answer off my head. I'm gonna say ramen.
That's valid.
Hmm.
That's valid. You can never go wrong with ramen. It's cheap, it's easy, it's
can't.
quick, and it's yeah, I agree. What's your favorite color, and what do you think it says about you?
I think my favorite color has really been like a purplish blue. Um, I don't really know what that says about me, if I'm gonna be real with you. It's not like a super feminine color, but it's also not like super masculine. I think it's just a chill, like vibey, like tomboy, like video gamey playing color. So I think that kind of matches my personality.
I dig it. Sheen, your face is in the middle of I want to say something.
It's like I was going to, but like you wrapped it up beautifully. W color.
W color.
Don't tell purple in my mods because I don't want them to get upset. Okay.
Don't tell him. Leave it
No
to
promises.
Beaver, if you will. So this is kind of getting back into your stream a little bit. What's one thing your stream community did that you didn't really expect?
This is kind of like in a positive vibe. I actually feel like we've had a decent amount of people join the Discord and like be willing to help other players and like be super chill. And I've mentioned this with the other guys a lot where I'm like, man, we have like a really good community kind of growing in there. And we had one individual that kind of was posting a lot about getting a new job. And I was actually really stoked that people were like kind of vibing. We're like, yeah, dude, let us know how the interview goes. And he's like, I have an interview tomorrow. And then people were like, you got this, you got this. And then the next day he posted it, or I don't know if it was the exact next day, but he posted, he was like, I got the job. And like the community was actually super hyped for him. And I loved that because I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like we might all be living a completely different life, but as guardians, I feel like we all have a lot of similar things. And as humans, we're kind of all just kind of grinding through the daily stuff. But it was really nice to see people like even just take the time out of their day to answer someone in Discord. It was cool.
A little tight knit
Definitely.
community.
Yep.
So we're getting down to kind of the end a little bit, and I have some questions. I guess I don't consider you a small streamer anymore. I think you've kind of passed that threshold. You're definitely on your way to making it. So I guess I would ask these questions as if a brand new streamer, somebody who was thinking about streaming, somebody who just didn't really know if it was the right path for them. Just some questions with answers kind of leading towards that. So the first one is, what is the most important lesson you've learned so far streaming?
First of all, I do think I'm a small streamer. You guys are so flattering. Oh my goodness. I definitely feel like I'm still a small streamer, but I will say, like, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to like take yourself seriously. So, like, if you want to present yourself as someone that really wants to be a legit streamer, you might have to like put in the time and effort into looking into some stuff to like engage your community. You know, like I had the couch stream going and I was really lucky that people stopped by, but you know, if you look at like if you're just scrolling through, you're way more likely to follow someone or engage with someone that has a webcam. This isn't always true, but there are certain things where like your success will probably go up super quickly. And that's just how it is. I mean, some people might not want to do that, but there are certain things that will make it an easier growth. And, you know, if you want to grow, you have to put in the work. I have put in a ton of work and obsessing and watching YouTubers. I've been watching YouTube's like things about streaming, how to do stream points, like how to work OBS, how to do like what are some cool like chat tools, you know, like how to make an emote that's good. Or, you know, you really do have to put in the work and watch other people like what do you like about their stream and what works for you? Like I guess if you want people to take you seriously, you have to take yourself seriously and like really put in the work.
And like
Don't just hop
Blue
in there.
said-
Like if you, oh sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like Blue said, people feed off the interaction, the physical interaction that they can pull from you too.
Yeah, reading chat's really important. Like that could be the one moment the person's giving you their time of day, and like you gotta be there and you gotta be ready to do it. Obviously, once you hit the point that you have like 20 bazillion people in chat, like it's pretty hard to answer them all. But if you can, like you should answer them because they're like, why else would they be watching you? Like, what makes you special?
Definitely. In your opinion, what is the most important personality trait or strength you feel someone would need to be a streamer? Or do you feel like that's something you need at all?
I mean, there are the few standouts that like do well and I think don't really communicate with their chat very well, but I think in general you need to be willing to make a social connection and like have at least a burst of extrovertedness, and that's just how it is. Like I really feel like even if you are truly an introvert, like during that time on stream, if you need to drink coffee or whatever you need to do to like bring the energy, you got to do that because it is a source of entertainment, and like you it just your energy feeds your chat, so you're gonna have to like figure out to I would say like at least be able to turn on the extrovert just a little bit. You can go back afterwards, but when you're on stream you got to be like you got to be engaged.
That is
100%.
true.
This one, a little challenging. I'm going to put a little twist on it. So if somebody who was brand new to streaming or just said, hey, I think I want to stream, and they asked you for one piece of advice and you had under a minute to tell them your advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Under a minute, I would say pick at least 3 days a week for at least 2 hours, have a plan and exercise that plan in those 2 hours and stick to it as much as possible.
Definitely. I think consistency is a huge thing, because at a certain point in time, in my perspective anyway, people who follow you, people start to set aside that time of day to pay attention to you. And if you're not consistent with it, it makes it hard for them. It makes things a lot more challenging and difficult. Obviously, when you get to a certain point, they'll tune into you regardless of what time of day it is. But when you have that consistency going, they set aside that time for you, and it's pretty impressive to see.
Yeah, you know, I want to always try to stay humble because I think some of these people that blow up and have like bazillions of viewers, like, kind of get an ego. Some of them, not all of them, but like, I still can't believe that another human being would literally take time out of their life to hop on, pull up my Twitch, and chat with me. That's actually mind fucking blowing. So I want to respect their time and like give them entertainment for that because that's a lot to ask of somebody. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, time is valuable, time is money, and they're like giving you their time. So you need to really cater to them because without your chat, without your community, you're literally nothing. You're just playing a game.
100%.
Agree.
100%.
Agreed.
Who's been your most important stream/professional mentor?
You know, I wouldn't say I have like any streaming mentors, if I'm going to be real with you. This is a lot of like me doing almost everything myself. I do have 2 people that I have like a little AK management that I'll talk to every now and then about stuff to run things by. But I went in the deep end by myself and for the most part like figured out a lot of things on OBS just by watching other people stream. So, I wouldn't say I have a streaming mentor because I didn't really have any people that were streaming as friends at the time. And I just went in and started doing it and put a lot of my own time into it. And literally Googling like how to get followers. Like, it's so simple. Like, what's the best way to get stream followers? And like the answers are like stream at least 2 hours, have a consistent schedule, like, and go at least like 2 to 3 times a week. You know, and like I'm like, that seems so simple, but actually following it and doing that. So I wouldn't really feel like I have a mentor because I did
Google's
look
your
this up
mentor.
myself. Yeah, I did. Like, I'm not like trying to pat myself on the back, but I was like, I want to do this, and I'm definitely the type of person that doesn't half-ass something. So like, very quickly, you would see my stream setup evolve over time, like very quickly. Because I immediately was like, if I'm gonna take myself seriously, I need to buy a desk and get a camera and like do this and get lights. Like, so I just went in the deep end. So I can't say I had a mentor, but I would gladly help people. I wouldn't say I'm a large streamer or anything. But like even like watching Frosty after, you know, popping into Frosty Sheen's stream, I'm like, what is he doing? Wow, he's like super chill. Like he's got all these really cool things going. Like he's got his music going. I'm like, I need to fucking do that. I need to like take note of that and like figure out how to do some things.
Definitely.
Like
100%.
steal from people's success, you know, like
Of course.
you're not gonna like take over their viewers or something. Like viewers can be shared. Everyone like the communities can be shared. But like if people are doing something right, then they're doing something right. And there's you know, like don't be having an ego about it. Like copy it, do it. You
Of
know.
course.
100%. And that kind of circles back to what you had said in a previous statement. Like, as long as you're willing to put the time and effort in, like you can do it. As
Yeah,
simple as
you know,
that.
I like
Facts.
recently was sick and then like basically took 2 weeks off because I wasn't streaming because I was building the PC and then I got sick and I was like kind of worried. I was like, oh my God, is my community gonna come back? Like this is a huge gap. Like I try really hard to not take time. Like, you know, I really advertised being on the podcast tonight instead of streaming. Like I was concerned. However, I have a really nice community and people were there for me and they were excited to see me back. So it was really cool. But like, you know, it is a legitimate concern if you just disappear for 2 weeks.
Definitely.
Yes, it is. Yes,
It
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Mr. Frosty is the prime example of that.
I was gonna say my chat knows all about that.
Yeah. And quite a few of your community is here watching your, you know, your appearance tonight too, which is super great.
Yeah. We appreciate you being here on the show.
We do.
Our first
Yeah.
official
Share the
guest.
love. Yeah, it is. Collect says I have abandonment issues. So, one of the last questions here. What is your favorite productivity hack for stream? Like, what's one super great shortcut that you rely on?
Would stream elements count as a productivity hack?
I mean,
Sure.
Because
yeah.
I love stream
yeah.
elements.
Yeah.
Like basically everything I built is off of stream elements. It's free, which is fucking crazy. It's free. Like everything I'm running off of is free. So like you can pretty much build a stream with like their beginning stuff for free. I did end up getting some overlays that I paid for, which weren't very expensive when I was deciding to get serious. But like stream elements is thebomb.com. They have a chat bot. You can do like raffles through them. You can set up all of your stuff in one thing. And actually this was like the most amazing savior to me because when I switched from Xbox to like switch my laptop over, all I needed to do was pull the website into my stream, like into my OBS, immediately pulled up my previous elements, so it was really easy. Like I didn't have to go from scratch. So 10 out of 10 recommend Stream Elements. Very easy. Love them.
Agreed.
Yeah, I third that.
Agreed.
Third that.
Yeah, and they do all your notifications and stuff too. Like you basically have everything in one website. It's fucking awesome, and it's free. Like that's crazy.
That's huge. All right,
It's
I'm gonna
free
make you.
posting.
I'm gonna make you think a little bit. All right,
Oh,
so
man, okay.
feel free to take a little bit and think about this. But what's one question you wished we had asked you, and how would you have answered it?
That's tough, guys.
It's,
Oh.
I told you it was gonna be a thinker.
Which one would have asked? Okay. Just like the first one that's kind of coming to my head is like, maybe if you would have asked what other games would I be interested in streaming and why? Or something similar as to why is Destiny the game that you stream primarily? Like, what is about it this game that is your favorite game that you built your community off of? Because people that choose to stream one game, they're doing it for a reason and they love that game for a reason. So, like, what about it brings people to that game for streaming?
That's fair. That's a valid point. So how would you have responded to that question in regards to like I guess almost an in-depth answer, like why does Destiny draw
I would
people
give-
like mind you?
I would give a love note to Destiny and why I'm so sad about the state that it's in, because video games are really like a more popular thing. And I would say like playing games, I'm not like excluding Gen X or anything, but I would say like millennials and down like have grown up with video games being a part of their life and it becoming more and more common. So this game has truly been there for such a long time for me. I don't even consider it a game. I literally consider it like an avatar type of game. Like I can play it like riding a bike. Like it is second nature to me. 10 years I have consistently been playing this game. And so I have moments of like friends. I have like an ex-boyfriend that I played with and stuff. Like I have some funny moments that were like so hilarious and just really brought me so much joy from the stupid shit that you can do in this game. Like I talk shit on it because I love it so much and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, but it's not just a game to me. Like there is so much time and love put into my characters. I would legitimately need to seek therapy. Like if my account like got deleted or something, I legitimately would struggle and probably would have to go to therapy for it. Like it's a part of my life. Like I'm 31 years old and 10 years of my life has been Destiny. That's 1/3 of my entire life I've been on this game. I cannot say that about any other game.
Or any other thing, more or less, you know, in
Pretty
general.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it is like some friends have been made through it, some serious experience have made through it, like day one raids and the first time you do a dungeon. The first time I went flawless by myself, I like literally freaked the fuck out and like was jumping up and down like in the living room on my Xbox, like, oh my fucking god! Like I didn't even get carried. Like I fucking did it. You know, like I went flawless. Crazy. I would never feel that way about any other game. This game it does something to you.
I've played a number of games in my time, and one thing I do have to say that Destiny as a franchise does better than any other game or online experience is the community. I think Destiny has one of the best gaming communities out there. It may not be the biggest, but it's the best in my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree
It's
on
crazy. People are like, "Oh, you play Destiny 2? Are you crazy?" And I'm
that.
like,
Right?
"I am. I very much am. Thank you."
hmm I enjoyed and hated at the same time.
Yep.
At the
100%.
exact same time.
Um,
And it's good that games can actually provide that for us, you know?
Oh,
a
yeah.
way to connect
Yeah.
and escape, more or less.
like
it's a
like
good
Phil
feeling.
says, the metaverse. It is the metaverse. you know?
It is.
It is for me. That game is. It truly is. Like no other game feels like that for me.
Can't agree.
100%.
100%. Definitely.
Well, final remarks. Do you have anything to say, Frosty, Mr. Sheen?
While we're gathering our thoughts, if anybody in chat would have a question for Miss AK,
Yeah,
I
we
would
can open
love
it
to
up.
hear it. But me, no, it's just it's cool to get to know you. I met you through Mr. Nicholas right here. Popped into your stream, and you know what you were saying holds true. That's just how you make friends. So we appreciate you being here and coming on the podcast, and it's cool to get to know you a little bit better through this.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited to see your guys' podcast grow and like watch some other streamers pop in here, and you guys seem to know some genuine gamers, which is appreciated these times, you know. It's nice to meet chill people that are playing games for the right reasons. Like at the end of the day, video games should be fun. And some competitive game modes, like we kind of forget that. And like people kind of like talk shit and stuff, but you're supposed to be having fun when you play it. You're supposed to turn on your computer or your Xbox or PlayStation and like actually forget about the world for an hour, you know. It's supposed to be a good time.
And I definitely pride myself on being almost like a matchmaker in the Destiny 2 community. I reach out to many different types of Destiny 2 players, streamers, and I do what I can to kind of like bring the communities together a little bit, because I love the experience that other people get with playing with other people that they would have never even come across or never even experienced. And I don't know, that's just something I pride myself on. So
For sure.
There doesn't have to be a great divide between PvP and PvE.
there
We can
doesn't
come
there doesn't
together,
Yep,
my brothers.
100%.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple questions from chat.
Okay.
That we do.
Blue Dwarf would like to know, how do you unwind after a long stream?
You know, it depends on the day. If I was like on a weekend, like a weeknight or something, I generally just have to like get ready for work the next day, hang out with the dogs, like pack for lunch. Dude, it sucks being an adult. I don't get to unwind that much. I'll like try to remember clips or something, or like think about making a TikTok, but sometimes I just kind of have to like basically go to bed. If it's on a weekend though, I'll generally like sit there, think about it, look at the stream summary, be like, I really need to like do this or whatever. I try to like sleep on it for a day, because generally the next day I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a good clip to put in, or that wasn't. And I try to get excited about at least like one thing that happened during stream. Like to me, if I get one follow, I'm like, this is a good stream, I gotta follow. It's pretty cool. You know, I try to vibe with it, or like I take a little bit of a reflection. I don't think that's really an unwind, but I don't know. I'll try to like set everything down in electronics too, and just like zone out, put on a pajamas.
Yep.
Do you want to grab the
Come
next
back
one,
to Earth
Frosty?
for a minute.
Yeah, come back to Earth for sure.
So Chewy's 951. What is your dog's name, AK?
So I have two dogs. I got a Doberman and a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and the Doberman is Moose, and Rogue is the Rhodesian Ridgeback, and he's on my my icon. He's got the pit viper sunglasses on.
Heck yeah. Definitely. If you haven't yet, go follow AKdiamondhunter on Twitch.
Do it. Do
you
it.
can also get, I think your Instagram is linked on there as well, and your TikTok
Rogue's
too, I
Instagram.
believe. It's Rogue's Instagram. You know.
Yeah, it's a dog Instagram, 100%.
That's so wholesome.
So yes,
I love
please go follow. I am gonna get to Phil's question in a second, but Mad Rat, he made me do this, so
Oh, God.
this is a question from Mad Rat.
Oh, good lord.
Why is Moose your favorite dog, and why do you hate Rogue so much?
I don't know why everyone loves Moose so much more than Rogue. It's because Rogue's more like a cat. He's like, don't touch me. He only loves me. And Moose is very much more social to everybody. So some of the Toasty plebs have actually met me in real life. We like got on like a actual Toasty pleb reunion and went camping. And like my dog didn't like anyone except for me. And Moose loved everybody. And they're still kind of butthurt over that.
That's
I don't
valid.
think they're gonna ever
That's valid.
forgive Rogue.
No, that's
Yeah,
valid.
I
though.
understand. I get it.
Do you want to grab Phil's question, Frosty?
What is your first gaming memory?
First gaming memory, dude. We're going like way back. Way back. Mario, right? And then I think like my first major gaming memory, like where I really got like excited about a game, there was this old game called like Carnivore Hunter or something. This was like old Windows, like old game where you'd go and log into a world and you like hunt dinosaurs on a map, and like the hardest dinosaur to hunt was a T-Rex. And that was my fucking shit. And like they'd have trophies in your little trophy area, and like you'd have to run away because they try to kill you. Like that's like my original gaming memories. Like old computer taking forever to fucking load this game, loading in. Probably the graphics were absolutely horrendous, but like walking around trying to shoot a T-Rex or like running away from a T-Rex if it was trying to kill you. I do not
Yep.
remember what this game was called, but I want to say it was like Dinosaur Hunter or something, or Carnivores or something.
Yeah, Phil says it was
Good
like
games, good games.
Turok, and Turok was his shit. So
Okay, sick.
some shared
It's
memories
very
there.
similar because there was this Jurassic Park game I could remember that sounds like that. I'm not sure though.
It wasn't Jurassic Park. It was definitely like Carnivores or something. I definitely played like Star Wars Pod Racer and shit too on like PlayStation 1. But I think the computer game came before that. Like I'm pretty sure it came before that.
Definitely. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up. I don't think anybody else in chat has any questions. We kind of answered it, but we'll repeat it one more time. Where can our viewers currently find you online?
Obviously the Twitch account, but I'm pretty active on our Discord, the Toasty Pleb, the Breadbox one that we have. That's a group Discord, and almost everybody is in there. There's multiple streamers that are in there. I've got an Instagram and a TikTok.
Awesome.
Y'all heard it there. Make sure y'all go follow her. We would appreciate
Follow. Please
I
do.
also have a
please do.
YouTube. I need to be better about YouTube. I don't really go
YouTube.
on there as much.
YouTube it's blowing up. Get some shorts on there. Get some YouTube shorts.
You know, I need to get better about it. I kind of focus on TikToks because it seems more popular, but I don't know. I'll stretch out. I'll put out. I'll try to be a better streamer.
I'll put it out.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in and joining us tonight, Miss AK. It was a blast having you here.
Thank you guys. It was awesome.
Of course.
We do. And on the note of communities and sharing and spreading love, is there anybody in chat who has somebody that we can raid? We'd love to share the community. So if you have any suggestions, please drop them. Otherwise, we can look and see if there's anybody who is online right now. Unless you have somebody.
I don't have anyone really that I'm following right now that's streaming.
Might I have a recommendation?
Go for it.
Schmauzer's Live.
Schmauzer's Live.
Oh, Schmauer's playing Destiny 2. There you
Schmauzer.
go.
Yeah.
The
Let's
best video game in the world.
Yeah, let's give that raid over to Schmauzer. Well, thank you everybody for coming by. This was our first interview. It went great. AK was wonderful. Awesome guest to have. We do our podcast Monday mornings, Thursday evenings, and Saturday evenings. Thursday is going to be our Dream Stream segment where we do interview streamers of all shapes and sizes. Monday mornings we talk about just life and how things are, and then Saturdays our entertainment section, so we get into the gaming industry a little bit more in depth. So if any of that interests you, it's going to be huge. And next week, specifically Thursday, our buddy in chat right here, Mr. Philly Sir, I fucked that up already, but Philly's going to be joining us. He's going to be our next guest, so please stop by. And on that note, let me type this in chat. Alrighty. Ooh, Ja, what's up, Ja? How's it going?
Dr. Ja, welcome.
Let me make sure I get it right. Schmauzer.
And while we're chilling,
I did.
again, make sure to follow AKdiamondhunter. Do it.
Thank you.
Do it. You won't regret. And the person we are rating is also a friend of the community. The communitar.
It's 100%.
Thank you
I
to
would-
everyone in chat that hung out. I appreciate you guys. I haven't been watching too much because I'm trying to focus on the podcast. But yes, I appreciate you guys all for being here.
Well, thank
Definitely,
you. Stick around, and we will see you guys all very soon.